Hey guys, welcome back to Genstar. I'm your host Star, and today we have another interesting video for you all. Before we begin, I would like to say thank you so much for taking the time to watch our Netflix Winx reboot video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, be sure to check out the video, links in the description. If you did watch that video and you liked, comment, or subscribe, thank you so much, and we hope you continue to support us. Now, for this video, it would kind of follow a similar format to our history of a history video of Miraculous Ladybug, so go check that out. Links are below. Okay, so I'm done talking. Let's jump right into the video. Okay, so thank you for Constellation for the suggestion for today's video. For those who don't know, Ever After High is a fashion doll franchise released in 2013 by Mattel, and a web series was also released in 2013 on their website and YouTube channel. The series is also on Netflix, but supposedly it won't last long on Netflix. More on that later, but the series follows the kids of fairy tale characters who make their way through school and struggle to understand what their destinies are, whether they follow their parents' stories or go against them. There are so many characters, and if you know of the doll line, then you know how many characters there are. So I'm just gonna go through the important ones slash my favorite. Okay, so first we have the best of the duo, Raven. She's a daughter of the evil queen and is honestly like the best character ever. Raven is not evil like her mother and wishes to go against her mom's story. She doesn't want to be evil. She doesn't want to poison apples. She doesn't want to be queen. None of it. Next, we have the second pair of the duo, and may I say, the worst one out of the two. Honestly, I hated Apple, and I'm sorry if you guys like Apple. I just did not like her. Applewhite is the daughter of Snow White. She's Raven's roommate, and is honestly like the complete opposite of her. She's being like a royal, and then Raven being a rebel. Apple's against Raven, going against her story, and like I understand why Apple's upset. You know, she has this like great story laid out for her. If you know the story of like Snow White, like Snow White ends with her Prince Charming. And Snow White got cursed with the poison apple and everything, but she ends up with her Prince Charming, and that's what Apple wants. But she wants that at the expense of Raven's kind of like suffering. And though she doesn't like want Raven to like suffer, it's just that she needs to see Raven's point of view in things. Like Raven doesn't want to do that, but like Apple wants to do that so Apple can be happy. You know what I mean? I just really found Apple so annoying. I'm so sorry. Okay, so we're going to speed round these next couple of characters. Within the royals, we have Alistair Wonderland, son of Alice, Ashlyn Ella, daughter of Cinderella, Briar Beauty, daughter of Sleeping Beauty, Dexter, Daring, and Darling Charming, the kids of King Charming. And can we pause just really quickly? I didn't even realize until I was doing this video that King Charming is he supposed to be the prince in Cinderella? Because that technically means that Cinderella and then the prince didn't get together. But I know in a book series that does fairy tale characters, I can't remember the book on the top of my head, but I'll put the name and a picture of it on the screen. I believe the Kurt from Glee was the author for that book. I think in that book series, Prince Charming had like two other brothers, so I wondered if that's what Ever After High did. That's why King Charming is King Charming, and then maybe one of his brothers is also the husband of Cinderella. You know, who cares? Who knows? Okay, next for the rebels, we have C.A. Cupid, who was originally a Monster High. If you watch Monster High, if you know Monster High, you know that already. But she transferred to Ever After High instead. We also have Cedar Wood, my personal favorite, daughter of Pinocchio, Hunter Huntsman, son of the Huntsman in Red Riding Hood and Snow White, Kitty Cheshire, my second personal favorite, and she's a daughter of the Cheshire Cat, Madeline Hatter, another favorite of mine, and she's a daughter of Mad Hatter, and we have honestly so much more. I honestly like the Rebels more than the Royals. I don't know, I'm a Rebel gang. Ever After High was created after the huge success of Monster High in 2010. Development of the franchise began in 2012, and in 2013 the franchise was launched. It was created to cater to 9 to 13-year-olds who didn't really like the aesthetic of Monster High, though it was also created for fans of Monster High as well. Before the dolls was released, they had websites made that kept the interest for the launch for the fans. These websites were called Village of Bookend, Rewrite Destiny, and Royal or Rebel. Soon after, though, the launch of the main website Ever After High was created, as well as the YouTube channel, and the 3 previous websites were redirected to the new one. In early July 2013, the first line of dolls was launched and sold at stores like Justice, Toys R Us, Target, Walmart, and so much more. So the original Ever After High website attracted a lot of people after its first launch because it later allowed people to register on the website, watch and download videos, read character bios, play games, and honestly so much more. It's really a shame that as of August 2020, the website no longer exists. Mattel took the website down, and if you try to get into the website, it just redirects you to Mattel's shop. If you want to know more about Ever After High's website and all the features that they have, I'll link a website down below because I found it so interesting, like while I was researching for this video, everything the website had to offer. Because I did use the website when I was younger when the show originally came out, but I used websites to only watch the show and play like 1 or 2 games here and there, but I was never a fan of the website because all I wanted to do was watch the show. But now I kind of regret it. Now that the website's no longer up, I wish I took advantage of it a little bit more. Ever After High webisode ran for 4 seasons, but by October 2016, they stopped making new episodes. The show was animated by Guru Studio, a studio in Canada founded in the 2000s. The show was released bi-weekly on Tuesdays and then later changed to Fridays and then honestly just stopped releasing new videos altogether. The YouTube channel is still up and running if you want to check out the show, but it either releases like really old episodes or compilations of videos based on characters, based on events, and stuff like that. But there still might be hope for Ever After High fans because there's going to be a revival chapter for the show releasing in summer 2021, and I do wonder who would animate the show because Mattel and Guru cut ties many years ago, and if this revival chapter is actually going to happen, I do hope it ties up some loose ends. It just gives fans something to look forward to and like ends on a really, really good note. Hey guys, editing started just cutting in really quickly. I never brushed up on the topic about Netflix as I mentioned in the intro for this section, but whenever the website went down in August 2020, Netflix put out a statement saying that Mattel was going to take out Ever After High from Netflix, and that never actually happened. Surprisingly, Netflix doesn't, of course, own the rights to Ever After High. It's not a Netflix original, so Mattel has every right to take down their own show. They can either restream it on a different streaming platform or just basically archive it if they wanted to. And that was what was supposed to happen in August, yet it hasn't happened yet. As of Wednesday, December 30th, 2020, Ever After High is still on Netflix. So if you have a Netflix account, definitely go rewatch Ever After High, because who knows, in 2021 they might take it down, or maybe after this revival chapter in the summer 2021 it could be taken down as well. Of course, the franchise was created because of the dolls. The original dolls were so beautiful and so detailed. I personally never owned Ever After High dolls like I have with Monster High, but like even through pictures, videos, you can tell how high quality these dolls were. However, the quality did not last long after the franchise was rebooted. I don't even have to say how drastic the change was. The dolls were given this like fake plastered smile that like made them age down. The quality definitely dropped. The fabric was so cheap and less detailed. I think this reboot was way worse than Monster High. The new rebooted dolls basically had no articulation, and the reboot enraged and annoyed fans. For example, Daring Charming was so badass. She went against the norm of being a damsel in distress to being a hero in her own story. Yes, she wore armor gear, she kissed Apple White to save her from her curse, and was literally the best character in every way. And then after the reboot, she looked like this. Her new version does not see her sporting anything similar to her old outfit. She went from being a hero and dancing to her own drum to something so much worse, and it's so sad. Let me know if you guys owned any of these dolls, rebooted or not. Let me know what your thoughts on the reboot were. Were you happy? Like, what did you like? What did you not like? Let me know in the comments. Okay, let's get into the juicy details on why Ever After High ended. Now, this is honestly up into your own interpretation, up to your own opinion, but I think one of the main reasons why Ever After High ended was because of Disney's Descendants. But before we get into Descendants' role in all of this, let's give a brief, tiny history lesson. It'll be quick, don't worry. Mattel and Disney, before they were enemies, were great collaborators. Mattel worked with Disney since 1955 with various toys, and then it became Disney's main company for dolls in 1996. Mattel created the Disney Princess line we know and love, or I guess we used to know and love. However, when Barbie was starting to dip in sales, and then later Mattel creating Ever After High, Disney went to Hasbro's instead to remake their iconic princess doll lines. I won't get into too much details with the fight for princess dolls, but Hasbro still has the rights to the princess doll line, but it's not as popular as it once was when Mattel ran it. Links to any information between these three companies and this whole princess doll line fiasco that was going on will be down below. I have to warn you, the website is pretty long, but I do think it's super interesting, and if you are a fan and you want to know more, please go check it out. After Hasbro won the right for the line, Mattel continued to create Ever After High because at the time Disney had a reputation for creating damsel-like dolls. Parents were not happy with the message Disney was sending. So Mattel changed their fairy tale characters to strong, empowering princesses. Not only did the dolls change, the show's theme song changed from Ever After High to Power Princess Shining Bright. I do love both songs. I do think the original was actually better. The show's logo changed as well as a slogan from the end is just the beginning to where princesses are powerful. And like I mentioned before, Ever After High got a reboot of their own after Monster High got one. Both rebuilds did not do well for the company, and it made it even worse when Disney's Descendants came out. It makes sense why people would rather go for these new Disney dolls than Ever After High. Disney, through these dolls, were able to rebrand their damsel in distress image they have had for many years now. And by rebranding their princesses lines, they were able to take down their major competitor at the same time. Mattel stopped producing dolls and just canceled the Ever After High line altogether in 2018. Another reason as to why this franchise ended was Mattel's poor treatment of Guru, the animation studio working with them. Mattel saw no reason to continue a now-failed franchise, so they basically blew off Guru. While the studio was working on the next episode, Mattel stopped getting in touch with the animation studio altogether, and the once bi-weekly show reduced the amount of webisodes it released until they had no more episodes left. It's good to see that if Descendants was not as popular as it was, then the show and the doll line would still be going on. But at the same time, we can't forget to address the elephant in the room. Mattel. If Mattel saw how much money they lost after the Monster High reboot, then they should not have done the same with the Ever After High franchise. They landed in the same boat that Disney was in when people were criticizing their damsel in distress appeal for their characters and their dolls. Yes, Descendants can be blamed because it gave people an alternative doll to pick when they noticed the reboot, but I think that would never have happened in the first place if Mattel did not do the dolls so dirty. Also, it's clear to see that Mattel favors Barbie more than their other lines. I mean, it makes sense. However, as Barbie continues to be more fierce and bold, why does their other doll lines go backwards in terms of being relatable, fierce, edgy, and diverse? And for diverse, I don't just mean race, but sexuality and personality too. Okay, this last part will be really quick, but like I mentioned in the Netflix Winx video that we did, Jen and I are big on representation and storytelling in the media. I believe Ever After High had some great storytellings. I mean, we had this divide of rebels and royals in the school, and a further divide with who wanted to go against their destinies. We had royals like Briar Beauty who do not want to follow her mom's footsteps and sleep for so many years, outliving her friends, or Darling Charming who did not want to be a damsel but a hero to her own story. Staying on the topic of Darling, she was a character, though never confirmed, that might have been part of the LGBT community. These subtle hints can be seen in Way to Wonderland with interaction between her and Ginger, or like I mentioned earlier before when Darling awakens Apple from her cursed sleep. I wish Mattel expanded further on this. This would have been so incredible to see if the dolls lasted just a little bit longer. I want to quickly run down the similarities between Descendants and Ever After High, or more so the ripoffs that you can see in Descendants from Ever After High. Let's talk about our two main girls, Raven and then Mal from Descendants. Mal's hair, her hairstyle, her whole aesthetic is so similar to Raven with the purple, the black. You can't tell me it's not the same. Mal from Descendants also dates this royal, nerdy, geeky boy, and Mal being a the villain, daughter of a villain, and then Raven being a daughter of a villain, also in Ever After High dates a nerd, royal, geeky boy as well. Also, the characters in Descendants, of course, have clear counterparts in Ever After High. You have Ashton, Ella, and Audrey. You have Evie and Raven. Oh, let's take an example of Evie and Raven really quickly. Evie's a daughter of the Evil Queen. Raven's a daughter of the Evil Queen. Tell me which one is better. Definitely Raven. Evie, just in the 2 movies that I've saw out of the 3, she doesn't have like a clear objective. Like, she wants to be a princess, but at the same time she wants to do this and that and the other. She's only there to be friends with Mal, but at the same time, like in the beginning, in the first movie, they were enemies, and then they were friends, and then they were fighting, and then it's just like Disney doesn't know what to do with her character. Disney doesn't know what to do with most of the characters in the show. Like, you have Mulan's daughter, and it was just like she was so forgettable. Mulan's my favorite character out of all the Disney princesses, Mulan and Tiana, and it just felt like I forgot Mulan was in that character. There's no Mulan counterpart in Ever After High, not that I know of, but I'm just saying that Ever After High has these characters that are well-rounded, they're written properly, they look gorgeous, and they have good storylines, and if they're not being the main focus, you can see these characters in the overall storyline, or you can see their characters in other people's storyline. It just makes sense. You're invested into what you're watching, and then with this, I don't know, this Disney ripoff movie that came out like a year after Ever After High came out, it just doesn't seem like Disney knew what they wanted. They knew that they wanted to beat Mattel on something. That's clear. It just, they didn't know how to write their story properly. It also feels like some of their story like characters that they have don't even follow what they originally made. Like Aladdin, Jafar in Aladdin, he was this wizard type character, and you know, he wanted power, and he wanted and like he used thieves to help him, you know, get what he wanted. Like, you can see that in the movie, Aladdin fighting these thieves throughout the movie, and then later on fighting Jafar at the end. But then in Descendants, they made Jafar a thief, just a thief, and his son Jay was a thief as well. Like, where's the magic? Like, Mal is like, she's the only one who's supposed to have magic, you know? Like, Ever After High, they gave these stories life. They gave these fairy tales a new spin. We're not just seeing the same old people, we're seeing their kids. Descendants try to do that as well, but Ever After High, honestly, it clearly, they blew it out the park. They did it so much better. So that concludes this history of Ever After High video. Let me know if you think the franchise ended because of Disney's Descendants or the loss of money after the reboot. Honestly, both make sense, but I think if you're more of a fan than I am, you have more bias to one opinion than the other. My opinions are definitely going to be different from y'all's because I was more of a fan of the show than the dolls, since I've never owned one when I was younger, unlike Monster High, where I'm a fan of both. However, I am a fan of Ever After High more compared to Descendants. For Descendants, I did watch the first and second movie, I think, and I was never really invested in any of the characters. I mean, I like Carlos and Jay, but not because of their storyline, but because of my interest of the actors who play the characters, since I was already a fan of them before the movies. And can I just say, rest in peace, Cameron Boyce. He was honestly phenomenal. As for the Descendants dolls, I don't see the high quality that Ever After High dolls gave us, but these dolls are definitely way better than the rebooted Ever After High, in my opinion. Remember, I just wanted to say that links are all down below. Also, let me know what you thought of today's video, and if you have any suggestions, please leave them down below. That could be about shows, movies, live action, or animated, either comic books, webcomics, webtoons, or manga. Also, let us know if you want some deep analysis, anime reviews. And with that said, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you like this video. Check out our other content. and like and comment. And Jen and I will see you in the next video. Remember, all links are down below. And remember, stay a kid at heart. Bye, guys. 2020 is honestly over. And I can't wait to see you guys in 2021. Peace.